All right, Shalom, Israel. I want to give all praises to the Most High God through His Son Christ, right, for bringing us here on another Sabbath, right, to enjoy the fellowship with our brothers and our sisters, to bring out the truth according to the scriptures, and to shine light on the wicked, to shine light for our people, you know, so they can follow after a righteous light. You know, we have to be the light to our people. But today we're going to be talking about basically how to deal with money, as far as like budgeting and different things of that nature. But so it might be a part 2 to this. So I'm gonna just kind of give like a couple of things that hinder us in our building or whatever. So let's start by reading that article about the 34 billion. Right, this is an article from the Forbes list, right, and it's about overdraft fees. Right, so we're going over tonight as far as like how we should be with money, like as far as like how. Let's just get into it, man, because let's just get into it, bro.
All right. Americans paid $34 billion in overdraft fees last year. Here's how to stop the charges.
So this topic is saying Americans paid $34 billion in overdraft fees. Now we know that we're not Americans. We're the Israelites that the Bible speak of, right? But we do live in America, right? And a lot of these percentages have to pertain with us, right? So it says, all right, you can go ahead and read.
You look at your bank statement and think, ouch, when did I get hit with that overdraft fee? I know that's me. A lot of us are in the same boat. Consumers coughed up more than $34 billion in overdraft fees last year, according to the Market Watch report on data from financial research firm Moab Services. That's the most the country had paid since 2009. But that stat doesn't necessarily mean we're getting worse at keeping track of balances. The research also points out that overdraft fees have gone up. In 2000, you paid $20 on average. Today is $30. Credit union fees have gone up from $15 in 2000 to $29 now.
Right. So basically, I just want to point out right here the overdraft fees. It's a high percentage of our people have a lot of overdraft fees because we're irresponsible with money. Right. We don't know how much money we have in our banks. Right. We just go and swipe our card everywhere like it's a magic wand, you know, and we treat it like it's some kind of magic card. Like you just got unlimited money, you know. Black people spend trillions of dollars a year, right? We got money, but we just don't spend it on the right things. And plus, we don't know how much we have. Read that other article about
78% of workers. Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 78% of workers live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Career Builder found that 78% of U.S. workers are living paycheck to paycheck. This number,
78% of U.S. workers. This is 8 out of 10 people that live paycheck to paycheck. Right? How much more the percentage of the so-called black man, the Hispanic and Native American? Right? We know for a fact that we have problems with money. Can you read?
This number may be further exacerbated by the recent federal government shutdown, which has resulted in more than 800,000 federal employees not receiving paychecks. So what can we do to battle financial pressure? Here's what you need to know and how to improve your financial profile. Living paycheck to paycheck, according to the 2017 survey, Career Builder, a leading job site, found some startling statistics related to debt, budgeting, and making ends meet.
All right, that's all I want on that. I just want to kind of point that topic out. Now, you can go back and read these things. This is on the Forbes list. You can type in 78% of people live paycheck to paycheck. And the other one, you can type in Americans paid $34 billion in overdraft fees. Right? You can go back and read that on your own. Dilute that, if you will. Right? Let me get Romans chapter 14 and verse 4. Right? Because we have a decent amount of money, and I understand that we are still the last hired, the first fired. But some of us actually have money, right? And some of us can do good things with that money, but we choose not to. Read that.
This is Romans chapter 14 and verse 4. Who art thou that judges another man's
That's Romans 15 and 4.
15 and 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Romans 15 and 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
So everything that was written, it was written for our learning. So everything in the Bible is written for our learning. Let me get Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19, right? So all of these scriptures are written for our learning. From Exodus to Leviticus, Numbers, all the way to Revelation is written for our learning, right? So that we might have hope in these last days, right?
It's the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
Read.
But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Read.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
So, right. So the main focus is not to be laying up treasures in on this earth. It's not to be. The main focus is not to be building up the 401k. The main focus is not to be worried about the things of this world. The main focus that we should be focused on is keeping these commandments.
That's right.
And everything else will be added unto you. You know. So we have to. That's the first thing we have to do. So I'll never put money over keeping the commandments. You have to keep the commandments first, and then we do understand that we have to live, right? So in order to live, you have to eat. In order to eat, you have to have money, right? In order to have a shelter, you have to have money, right? You just can't be roaming around without money, because you won't be able to be able to survive, if you would. So give me 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6, right? 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6.
First, I got that.
I got you. This book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6.
But godliness with contentment is much gain.
Read.
Okay. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
Read all the way to 10.
Okay. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. Which drown men and destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
It's what?
The love of money is the root of all evil. Which, while some covet after, they that err from the faith and pierce themselves through with many sorrows.
So it says the love for money is the root of all evil. Not money in general, but the love for it. Because you can love money and make money your God. You know, you can worship and sacrifice to that God, right? Money will have you breaking the commandments. Money will have you having abortions because you can't afford the car that you want to have, right? Or you can't afford the things that you want to have, so you might go steal it. You know, money is the root of all evil, right? When a poor man wants money, that is the root of all evil, because he wants that money, right? Rich men will do evil things for money, right? And you can go on and on with giving explanations. Give me Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8. So we understand right now that money is the root of all evil. And money.
Can I expound on one of those scriptures real quick?
Go ahead.
I like that 1 Timothy 6 and 6, but godliness with contentment is much gain. And like you said, going into not really seeking things of this world, you know what I'm saying? Constantly focus on the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the place that the Lord got us right now, or some of us, we may, like you said, we may have more money than the next. you know, some of us may have less. But it said, as long as we content and godliness, which is keeping the commandments, that's our game. You know what I'm saying?
All praise, all praise. All praise. Like the brother's right there. The main focus is to keep the commandments. To have yourself, we have to examine ourselves and have ourselves, the inner man, right first before you go and seek how to make more money and different things of that nature. You have to be right within in the scriptures first. All right, go ahead and read them.
Said Proverbs 30
and verse 8.
All right.
Through 9.
All right. Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8. Remove far from the vanity and lie. Give me neither poverty nor riches.
Right, so I apologize. Go ahead.
Feed me with food convenient for me. Verse 9. Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain.
Verse 2. Right there, it's showing you that being poor can make you sin too. Because it'll make you want to steal. Right? If you're a poor man, that's why we're supposed to be working for our money. Right? So the root of all evil is money. But you also have to have money. You have to be balanced in this truth. Right? You have to know how to balance these things. And in verse 8 it says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Right? Because being too poor can make you sin, and being too rich can make you sin. That's why you have to get to the point where you can be content, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let me get Rock chapter 40 and verse 24.
Hey, one thing on that, on verse 9, when it say, lest I be full, that kind of remind me of, you know, how most of us were like, man, think how much further along we would be in life if we had known the truth at a younger age. But it's saying right there, unless I be full, we would have been full of ourselves back in the day. That's why we had to go through the thing we went through, so we wouldn't get full of ourselves and forget about the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And deny him. That's what it said. But you said you want to what now?
Give me Sirach chapter 40 and verse 24. Right? Because we understand that we need money in this world, right? But Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8 says, give me neither poverty nor riches. Right? He's asking the Lord, don't let me be a poor man. Right? And don't give me riches either. Right?
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 40, verse 24. Brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both.
Right? Let me read that again.
Brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both.
Right? So, that's 24. Brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than both. Right? So, in times of help, brethren is good. It's good to be able to call on your brother. It's good to be able to call on your sisters, right? But sometimes you need money in order to give them to fix the certain situation. Certain situations can't always be fixed with words, right? So that's what it's saying right there. Keep reading.
Gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both.
Right? Read.
Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both. There is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it is needed not to seek help.
You read.
The fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden, and covereth him both above all glory. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better is it to die than to beg.
Right, so that's why you know you don't want to be a poor man. Right? It said, the Lord said it's better for a man to die than to beg. You don't want to be begging for somebody else's stuff. Right? That's not what a man should do. A man should get out and work for his own things. Right? Keep reading.
The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. Wow. For For he polluteth himself with other men's meat. But a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. I'm tripping.
And that's a cut to anybody who says you're not supposed to make money, right? You're supposed to be working and making money, right? Not necessarily falling in love with it, right? Don't make the money, don't make the money, let the money make you, you know? Keep reading.
Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in the belly there shall burn. There shall burn, yeah.
So it says begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. So like when he's asking you, right, it sounds sweet, but on the inside he's burning because he wish he want to have his own money, you know, so it's burning him. But let me get Genesis chapter 17, 3 and verse 17, right? Let me show you that we're supposed to be actually working, right? Show you that we're actually supposed to be working for our money.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 17.
Hey, Mike, you, all right, what?
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 17.
Right?
Unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and
right,
eat of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
So one thing I want to point out right here, this is not even on the topic. You got to stop. The men who coming into the truth, you got to start hearkening to your wife. If your wife say, I want to keep celebrating Christmas, hey, baby, we're not doing that, right? We got to put that away. Hey, and if she leave, let her leave, you know? Okay, because you got to keep the laws, the statutes, and commandments. That's the one mistake that Adam made. He hearkened to the voice of his wife, right? She said, hey, eat this fruit right here. Hey, let's go celebrate Halloween. What you think about this? You know, hey, you got to put these things away, man, right? You can't be hearkening to the voice of your wife. You got to hearken to the voice of the Lord, right? And do these commandments. Keep reading.
Verse 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field.
Read.
Verse 19. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread.
So the point here, I want to make this. And he said, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. So that means you're going to be working for your bread. You're going to be working for your money. You're going to be working for your food. He said, in the sweat of thy face, right? So, because Adam didn't have to work for that. All he had to do was keep the garden. He had to trim the garden. That's all he had to do. And that goes into something deeper, but we're not going to get in that tonight. But it says, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. But the point I want to make right there is Adam had to work for what he got. That's what we have to do now, right? Because
they say you're gonna work till you die.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
They say you're gonna work till you die. Go back into the dirt.
That's right. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 10. All right, so now we have to work for what we have. Right, you have to work in order to put a roof over your family's head. You have to work in order to put food on your table. Right, and the Lord said, if you don't, a man who don't provide for his own is worse than an infidel. Right, so you have to provide for your family. Right, you have to stand up and be men in your household and provide for your family. Let me get that.
Would you want it again?
3 and 10?
Yes, sir.
All right. 2 Thessalonians 3 and 10. For even when we were eventually commanded that if any will not work, neither should he eat.
So if you don't work, you're not going to, right? You're not, so if you're not going to work, you're not going to eat, right? Because another man is not going to sit here and feed you, man. You got to get out there and work for your stuff. right? You gotta stop selling drugs and crack to your communities, right? Stop murdering your people in the streets and get you a job and work. Work with your hands. That's what the Lord gave you for. He gave you hands to work. Right? In so many different ways, right? Like we live in the time of where technology is advanced, right? You living in a time where everything is fast paced, right? There's so much money made around here. Let me see. Give me Sirach chapter 29 and verse 21, right? So now we understand that we have to work for the money, right? Sirach chapter 29 and verse 21. We understand we have to work for our money. Can I get a precept real quick? Yeah, go ahead. Let me get a quick precept. Because he said go to work. This is Sirach 33 and 27. I don't know if you have this. It's because basically like you're going to you gotta work for what you want, right, or whatnot. And if you don't, you're just gonna be idolized and wishing and hoping on things you can't do. But this is Sirach 33 and 27. It says, send him to labor, right, that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. It says, set him to work as it fit him. Basically going above his strength. You know, you a construction worker, don't go apply for no doctor, job. It says if he be not obedient, put him more heavy fitter. It's basically going to you got a lazy ass, somebody that don't want to hearken and do nothing. That's the person that ripped him, right? But that was just that was Sirach 33 and 27. All praise.
Let's get Sirach 29 and 21.
Yes, sir.
And it says, the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame.
Right. So the chief things in life, right? So now we understand that the things that are written for our life, right? We understand that we have to work. Now we understand like what are the chief things? What are the necessities? What are the needs that we have to have? Right? What are they read it again?
The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame.
Right? So chief things in life is water, right? Bread, that means food, right? And clothing. And that don't mean Louis Vuitton. That don't mean the Balenciaga. You don't have to have all that stuff, man. Y'all wasting your money over so-called white man anyway, right? Although I understand that we have to go to our enemy for all clothes, but you don't have to go pay $25,000 for a shirt or $2,500 for a pair of sneakers.
So I heard people paying $500 for a pair of jeans.
$500 for jeans with horseshoes on you. You ain't got to do nothing, man.
And then struggle to pay your rent.
Right. Now you looking for money on the rent, talking about I don't know why the Lord doing this. You did that to yourself. Hey, you did that to yourself. Okay. That is life of a poor man. Keep reading.
All right. Verse 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
Right.
Be it little or much, hold thee contented, that thou hear not the reproach of thy house. For it is a miserable life to go from house to house, for where there are a stranger, thou darest not open thy mouth.
That's all I want. I meant to get. Let's get Sirach chapter 39 and 26 to learn some more of the chief things in life. Right.
Hey man, you just said it's a miserable thing to go from house to house, though. Think about that. Man, you got a shack on this couch, you got this house, and then you think you better not open your mouth. You better touch my AC if you want to or something.
Because at the end of the day, you can't. Like whenever you in somebody else's house, you got to go by their rules. If they say I don't want you in my house celebrating the PASSCODE, hey, can you meet the mic, bro? If you live in somebody else's house and they say I don't want you in my house cooking lamb celebrating the PASSCODE, you got to do that. You got to honor that, man.
Yeah.
So now you get that somewhere else. But got that Sirach chapter 39 and 26.
This is book Sirach chapter 39 and 26. The principal thing for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and blood of the grape, and oil and clothing.
Right? So these are the necessities, man. Water, fire, that's going into your power. Right? Iron and salt, wheat, flour, food. It's talking about food. Right? And then the other verse talk about a house to cover shame. Right? These are the necessities. Right? Going out every night to eat to Applebee's or going to Applebee's twice a week, that's not a necessity, man. Right? You can cook at home.
That's right.
You can go in and get in the most expensive clothes. That's not a necessity, bro.
And right. You know, sometimes, like, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sometimes, like, when you compare, sometimes when you go to the restaurant, say you, your wife, kids. If you feed a family of folk, for that little meal that you get out that restaurant, you're going to at least spend about $130, $140. Mm-hmm. That's a little grocery bag, probably almost a whole month. If they go to spend that same amount of money.
And I'm not trying to say there's nothing wrong with going out to eat. But
right,
if you are in a bind, right, and you living paycheck to paycheck and you're barely making it, you might probably need to eat at home. You know, that'll be your best bet. That'll help you out in the long run, and you won't have to work as hard to keep trying to pay for all these things you can't afford. You know. So let's get let's see. Give me Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 2. Right? Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 2.
All right, Lamentations chapter 5, verse 2. And I'm going to start at 1 because it's pretty heavy. Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest.
So we labor and have no rest. Because our water is sold unto us.
I would expound on that, man. In verse 2, though, it says, our inheritance turns to strangers, though, man. You know, and we become aliens. Like, don't nobody know that the so-called blacks are the Israelites. Don't nobody know that we are the real chosen people of God, you know. That's I actually just read this the other day. That's why
that's right.
And then we come a reproach. He said in verse 1, we come a reproach to these other nations. Huh?
That's right.
And then it says in verse 4, when it says our wood is sold unto us, it's also saying that let you know that this land was something else's land before these white folks got it. Mm-hmm. Our wood is sold unto us.
And it says our neck is under persecution.
That's right.
That's joy flow.
Lamentation, man. That's Lamentation put you in the spirit of mourning. That's a very, very heavy book. That entire book.
That's ultimately going into the northern too.
Hey, and also if you read 7, verse 7, to prove that you know, God punishes us as a nation. It said our fathers have sinned and we have borne their iniquity. But what our forefathers did, that's why things are like it is with us to this day.
Brother, read 8. It says servants have ruled over us. Come on, these other nations. They supposed to be our servants, but they ruled over us.
Yeah, that goes back to that scripture when he said, I have seen servants on horses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it says, kings and servants or something like that.
Say princes walking and servants on horses.
Right. Everything
That's statue, ain't it? Can't tell you the state is on, but they actually had it on the statue. So.
Oh yeah, with the servant on the horse.
Where was you going?
So basically, I wanted to bring that out to show and prove that we do pay money regardless, right? We have to pay water bills, power bills, right? Those are things we're gonna have to pay for if we live in here until we die. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're living off grid somewhere, right? But so basically, I wanted to point that out. Now here is what I pull out the scriptures, right? So give me Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 18. But the whole point tonight is a lot of people have a lot of debt, right? We live from paycheck to paycheck. 78% it said that's like 8 out of 10 people. So 8 out of 10 people just walking around the street are living paycheck to paycheck, right? But 8 out of 10 of those people, they probably look good too. You know, they got the fresh shoes on, right? Fresh hat, nice looking car, different things of that nature, you know. A lot of people look good, but they don't necessarily have it. For real, they don't have money in their accounts, right? But the main thing I want to teach tonight is to basically being out of debt, like being debt free. But as we read in Lamentation, we understand, yes, we will still have a water bill. Yes, we still will have a power bill. But the debt that I'm talking about is consumer debt, right? And consumer debt, I mean, it's talking about credit cards, right? It's talking about like car loans. It's talking about any kind of loan that you use to borrow money, right? A lot of times when you look in the scriptures, borrowing money was never a good thing, right? It was always like for poor people, right? It was always for it's never mentioned as a positive thing in the scriptures, basically. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you a little knowledge about as far as borrowing money, right? You understand, like so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Especially the black people, we spend trillions of dollars a year on just regular stuff, you know. And we ask ourselves, why don't we have money? It's because we're spending it all up, right? We look better than everybody else, but we ain't got no money. We got all the chains on, you know, what they say, the diamonds dancing on your chest. You know what I'm saying? We got all that. We got gold teeth, right? We got nice cars. A lot of us living good, man. As far as materialistic ways, right? Let's get Deuteronomy 8 and verse 18.
All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 18. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy father, as it is this day.
So the Most High gives wealth, right? The Most High can give you wealth. Let me get Sirach chapter 11 and verse 15. Right? So the Most High gives the wealth, right? He makes the rich, he makes the poor, right? Because the Most High God is in control of all things. And read that when you get it.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him.
Read.
Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein.
Hey, I apologize. Go up to verse 14.
All right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 14. Yep. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord.
So key thing I want to point out right here for tonight's class: poverty and riches come of the Lord, right? Death also comes from the Lord too, but that's another conversation. So poverty and riches come from the Lord, right? So if you're in poverty, that's of the Lord. If you're rich, that is of the Lord, you know. And being rich is not a bad thing if it's done right. If you're still living righteously, keeping the commandments, right? But riches can also destroy you too. But because remember we read in Proverbs earlier, it said, "Give me neither poverty nor riches." Right? Let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12. To just give another example about money and wealth, right?
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 12. Provide not a lot.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 12.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong book.
Good. All good. So
they on like Ecclesiastes 7 and 12.
Right. So we went over money and wealth, right? We're learning about being out of debt. I'm gonna kind of give an understanding as we go on, right?
Okay, it's Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12. Wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
So the key thing I want to point out right here, money is a defense. Money can be your defense, right? When you need different certain things, money can be your defense. Like having like a savings account, right? You can have money saved up, something pop off and happen. It can be a defense, right? Somebody passed away, God forbid, and you need money. You have money to pay for that funeral. It can be a defense, right? Your boss or anybody wants you to work on the Sabbath or a holiday. You know, you want this little overtime. You like, no, I'm good. It's a defense. It's a defense. You know what I'm saying? So let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 19.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes, what now?
10 and verse 19.
Whosoever removeth stone shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be entangled thereby. If the iron be blunt, and he that not.
Ecclesiastes 10 and 19.
10 and 19.
Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes 10 and 19.
10 and 19. I was at 10 and 9. I'm sorry. A feast is made with laughter, and wine with making merry. But money answers all things.
So a feast, man. We got the again, bro. We got the Passover coming up, man. So a feast, it says a feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, man. Just like the brothers were bringing up, man. Like, hey, wine maketh merry, you know. He brought that out last week, but money answereth all things. So money can answereth all things, right? Just like I said earlier, words, they are good, right? Keeping commandments, right? Giving the words of the Lord to your people. But sometimes you have to have the money, right? At certain times you have to have money to actually do the things that you have to get done, right? Let me get Proverbs 13 and 12. Right.
It's deep though. It say money answer all things.
All things, man. Right? Hey, you see, you know the so-called white man reads his book, man, right? Because they know if one thing Esau don't know, they know about money, according to the scriptures. They know about money, man. So, but money answers all things. Just like George Floyd. Did they not just give his people money?
27 million.
Right?
Really?
And they just gave him what, 27 million?
27 million.
The case over with?
Nah, that was the silver suit. Now I guess that was the suit against the city.
Who got the money?
The family got the money, but the case is not over.
Wow. Okay.
Give me Proverbs 13:11. It says, "Wealth guarded by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase." So if you righteously gaining, you know what I'm saying? The Lord gonna bless you. But we know how this society was set up on vanity, so of course gonna come to it.
What you want us to rock?
Sirach 33 and 23.
All right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 23. At the time when thou shalt end thy days and finish thy life, distribute thine inheritance.
Right. Now give me Proverbs. It was Proverbs 13 and 22. Right. So it said, and I hold that to Ananias, and then give me that Proverbs, brother.
I got Proverbs 13 and 22. A good man leaving an inheritance to his children's children, and wealth of the sinner is laid up the just.
So it says, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. Now read what you got, Ananias.
Father, you want 23 again?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sirach 33 and 23. At the time when thou shalt end thy days and finish thy life, distribute thine inheritance.
Right. So you're supposed to be working on building an inheritance for your children. Right. You're supposed to be leaving your children to the time. Right. That's what you see a lot of these so-called men do. Right. A lot of these so-called white women, they leave their kids time. Right. It's an inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. All right, give me Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 7. All right, so
not to cut y'all, but a lot of times when we look at these, like I'm 44, I might see a young couple, white couple, 20, 25, 26 years old, and I'm almost twice their age, and they're doing a lot better than me. And a lot of times you'll be thinking, how did they get so far ahead of me? And I'm way older than them. And a lot of times it come down to that inheritance what they can receive, whereas I have to pay a monthly mortgage on my house, whereas they living in the house that was given to them. And by them not having that mortgage or having that company, they stack their bread, and not only that, they stack their bread, plus they had a bunch of bread that they inherited from, I guess, their parents or grandparents.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of us got it like that. Most of us don't have it like that. We start from the bottom.
Well, more so than dealing with.
That.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it, bro.
No, I'm just saying more so to do with the curses on us than anything, and about the education. It don't necessarily be something that they pass down, but the education is key. The knowledge, you know what I'm saying? They doing things with the kids that we don't have any knowledge of, being up in age than what they already passed down to their kids, which is the knowledge. Even if the kids don't even have the knowledge of what's going on, they still putting them through that cycle to make them, I guess, be next in line to receive that blessing. It's more so the knowledge.
I agree. Let's get Proverbs 22 and 7. Right.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
So now, this is really what I'm going to get into. The borrower is a slave to the lender. They understand this through economic slavery, right? We are slaves economically because the borrower is serving to the lender. That's why you, when you ride down the wherever you live, like the Parkway, you ride down different neighborhoods, right? You always see the easy money buy here, payday loan, right? Quick cash loans. You see all these loan sharks around in the black neighborhood, right? Because it says the borrower is slave to the lender, right? If I can get you to keep borrowing money from me and keep owing me and staying behind all your life, right? And we already understand that you don't have the education or the knowledge of how to handle money, you're going to always come to me, right? I no longer have to have yokes of iron around your neck, right? Because I can destroy you financially. And if I can destroy you financially, I can destroy you emotionally, right? I can destroy you like that. This is another form of slavery. This is actually how I came into the truth right here. Because I started learning about money, being more financially literate, right? And I started understanding the promotion and how they promote different things to our neighborhood, how they promote different things to our communities through rap music, right? When I first learned this stuff and I started reading the scriptures and read the curses, I hated rap music. I still hate it. I hate hearing spend a check and get it right back, right? I hate hearing that because that's teaching our people to be careless with money. It's not teaching us how to build financial wealth, to build a community. It's not teaching us how to build our children up to learn how to handle money, right? And we just sitting there dancing and we not knowing, but we really getting promoted to. Mm-hmm. And we all know who is over the rap music and who controls what kind of music gets out to our communities, right? You're not gonna hear no kind of positive music, right? Or how to save money and not kill your brother. You're not gonna hear that publicized. When we hear rap, you're gonna hear murder, you're gonna hear drugs, you're gonna hear all that. Yep, right. When we did have the music, the positive music coming out like that in the, I guess, early 80s, mid 80s, they changed. They changed the narrative. When we had the groups like Public Enemy and KRS-One, you can listen to somebody and actually learn something. They changed it. And that's correct. So that's Amalek, who basically own all the record companies and all that. Right? Them Jews. That's right. Control the music business, movie business, music business. And they decide what the narrative is. That's right. But let me see. I gotta see if I can get my phone to charge. You see how the boy would have spent $24 billion to put a diamond in the middle of his forehead.
Not only that, but I was talking to my partner at work today. You know, what's his name? A.O.I went over to Africa, took the little money he made and built a city, you know, and named the city after him. But on the other aspect, you got old boy Drake. He went and turned around and bought a house or built a house for $100 million. One house. That's the exact type of message that the brother talking about, how we got crazy spending habit and the ones controlling the media or put somebody like Drake out there as a puppet to spend $100 million on himself on a house when he could have built that up to build a community throughout every state, you know, especially for our people. But he spent it on himself. A.O.I took it to Africa and built a whole city.
Right. So basically, we can be pretty stupid when we bless the hell, man. We can be pretty simple. Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, we are.
Yeah.
And like you said, the borrower is slave to the lender, right? That's why I'm ultimately trying to show people how to get out of debt and why you should get out of debt, because you're a servant to that. Now, if you're in debt, man, look, I'm gonna put it like this, right? So now, if you're in debt, if you got credit cards, if you got a loan shark company you got to owe money to, if you got a car loan, right? If you got a furniture bill, right? If you got all these different bills, your money is spread out. Your money has no power, right? In order for your money to have power, you have to have it together, right? You can't be spreading your money out and making payments every, right? This is the importance of getting out of debt, because of you have to be a slave to this. Now, here's why. When you have all these different payments, car loan and all the different various things I've said, right? Now you have to work extra hard just to pay for all these things that you cannot afford, right? And ultimately, a lot of times it be to impress other people. I know we've all heard that we do other things to impress people that we don't even like. I know we've heard that before, right? But here's why you should be getting out of debt, because if you're, like I said, you're in debt now. Say you want to open a business or open a little small business. Now you have to work to pay off all this stuff that you went and got, right? Off of emotional feelings because you wanted it right then, right? Instead of waiting and paying for it in cash, right? Now you have to stay at a job that you hate. Now you have to, when they offer you a Saturday, right? Or if they offer you any kind of money, right? Now you have to take that because you have to pay for all these things that you have. Otherwise, they're going to come and get it. Right? Let me get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43, right? Because this is one of the curses. This right here is one of the curses.
Can I get a precept real quick? You got it, bro. This is Ecclesiastes 5 and 10. It says, "He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity." Because half of them people like you mentioned Drake, or like somebody like that has like abundance and a trillionaire, they still not happy at the end of the day. That's why half of them blow their brains out and overdose. Of course, we can see the example of DMX down today. Half of them millionaires, they still miserable, you know. So that's why it says by them increasing all that big ass house. He's my friend Drake got. He has one son. Even though, his son maybe sleep in it once or twice, but it's all vanity.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let me get a proof that get 10 and 22. Right, just to go exactly what you said. Like, as far as them, a lot of these people, man, you see them and they're rich, they're famous, but they're unhappy.
And think about this, not to cut you off. What happens to all the riches that eventually, like Prince, Michael Jackson? What happens to all the I guess they fame and fortune when they pass away? They go back right to the plane. They go right back to them. So it's vanity. What you said, Proverbs?
Proverbs 10 and 22, and that's exactly why I wanted to point out earlier, as far as storing up the treasures in heaven, because once you make all this money and the inheritance that inheritance go to your kids, you go put dirt, or if you don't have it, you give it to nobody. It's just for nothing, And you can't take these treasures with you, man. You can't take this money with you. So that's why ultimately it really don't matter. But we understand we have to make it in order to survive, right?
All right. You said Proverbs 10 and 22?
Yeah.
The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he added no sorrow with it.
So the Lord, a real blessing from the Lord, he don't add no sorrow to it, right? That's why you see all these damn rappers, you see all these famous people, they be shooting themselves up with heroin, right? They unhappy, right? Because that's not the blessing of the Lord, right? You already understand and know who took Christ up to that mountain and said, "You can have this whole world."
I was just thinking
right?
about that.
Of all the riches, right?
I was just thinking about that.
You can have all the riches, right? That's how you know this blessing is not from the Lord, right? Get that in Deuteronomy 22.
Real quick precept, real quick, just to let me back on that. It's our Proverbs 10 and 2. It says, "Treasure of wickedness profit nothing, righteous is delivered from death. You see?
Right.
So it don't matter what kind of fortune and fame you may have, man. At the end of the day, if you're not keeping the commandments, you're gonna die.
Go ahead.
Is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
Right? It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. Right? You're not going to a payday loan and then you find a so-called black man who owns it. Right? These are so-called white men who own it. Arabs, Chinese people who own these, because there's the borrower is slave to the lender. Right? And right now we slave to our enemies, man. Right? And it says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. Right? That's being a servant up under somebody else. They can lend you money and then charge you 800 interest. Right? This is real, man. The scriptures is real. 28 and verse 28.
All right. The Lord, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
And I want to point that out because he said he would smite us with madness and blindness. Right? We blind when it comes to money. We blind when it comes to these different things. Right? He said he's going to smite us with. That's why we spend our damn lives, and then the next you got to pay rent. But you had a good time, like picking Hennessy shots. Red Bull and Hennessy, man. You know, turned up in the club on the Sabbath. Right? But let me get 1 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 71. Right? Because ultimately the heathen set this stuff up for us too.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lord put us in a situation because we broke the commandments. That's why we got to come back to him. Right? And he set the heathen up over us. And anytime we try to build anything, right, you always got the heathen, they try to come and try to hinder your building.
Check 5 and
71.
First Ezra chapter 5 and verse 71. We ourselves alone will build unto the Lord of Israel, according as Cyrus the king of the Persians and have commanded us.
Read.
Verse 72. But the heathen of the land lying heavy upon the inhabitant of Judea and holding them straight hindered their buildings.
So the heathen always trying to hinder the building. When they gathered up together in the 60s and 70s, man, they tried to hinder the building. Right? They have brethren among them. Right? The police put informants around them. Right? They saw the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American rising up. Right? Ultimately, it's because we didn't have the Lord on our side because we weren't keeping the commandments still.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But anytime the heathen see us gathering together, right, starting to get a little power, they try to hinder the building. Right? And how do they do this? Through your rap music, all the things they promote you. Right? Through television, the things they literally push to your community. Right? Now you have hell. When you want to save money or, you know, do good with your money, and you have people with spending money as far as shopping, right? Now when you shop, you can Google something, right? Not even pay for it, and then guess what? You'll see it on Facebook, kind of way. Oh, and then when you get on Instagram, you see the same. Right? Oh, now it's become advertising to you. Now you want to buy it. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get it because we're going off of those emotions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Get keep read one more.
Okay, what were we?
Verse 73 in 1 Ezra 5 and 73.
Okay. Verse 73. And by their secret plot and their popular persuasion and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus built. So they were hindered from building for the space of 2 years till the reign of Darius.
Wow.
And these things are learned because they hinder in the building through their plots and popular persuasions. Right? This your rap music. I'm telling you, these are the things like your Cardi B that's pushed on you. Now you got all our women that want to be whores and dots, right? You got NBA YoungBoy, you know, all that type of music. They want to just be whores and dots and have sex with as many women as they want to have, right? So you can be occupied in Babylon the Great so that you won't come out of the world. They want to try to keep you in the world, right? But they have all these things, these popular persuasions to keep you set up from keeping to keep you from God's commandments. And the reason they want to keep you from God's commandment because they read the book more than most of us do, and they know that God said when we start keeping the commandment, then when they move come to peace, then when He begins to fight for us. When we keep the commandment, and they know that, so they're gonna do everything to be from the commandment. That's their job, though. If you think about it, that's right. We're supposed to do that, but it's something we're supposed to do, and that's what God said to do.
No, I was saying an example would be like they used the athlete, what his name, Wilt Chamberlain. It made him famous because he was big, he was popular, he was different at the time. They pushed him to the top and magnified his name, made him an icon, you know, and he was famous for scoring 100 points and dominating over everybody. But one of the things he did outside of basketball that they promote and still talk about to this day was that the man slept with over 10,000 women. Yeah, but they still pushing that. That's been around just as long as that man scoring 100 points. So you got men and celebrities that grew up listening to that, thinking, yeah, that's cool, and tried to secretly, or not trying to beat that record, but thinking that, yeah, we can do that. If Wilt can do it, he did 10,000. What's wrong with me with 50 or 100 or 200 or 300? You know what I'm saying? And it just keep on. They just keep on passing down that same lie. And a
lot of this stuff.
Go ahead.
True. And a lot of it stems from slavery too. When you look into the history of like how people got raped, robbed, and murdered. Right. A lot of the men, they used to breed out of people. They would make them have sex with certain women. They would take the big buck. Hey, they might have 4 women laid out for him right there, and he had to lay down with all 4 of those women. Right? What do you think he would go and say on those plantations? Right? He would probably go and brag about it. Yeah, I got so and so. I did that. I did this and that. And that same mentality kept it all the way through. Right? And now we proud when we can have sex with multiple, like 10 and 20 women at a time, or you know what I'm saying, different things of that nature. Oh, I talked to her. Right? We went out on a date last night. I'm going out on a date with this one tonight. You know what I'm saying? We got that whoremonger spirit on his head. Right? We come out of that thing. Because ain't no whoremongers going to be in the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
Right? But now I just want to get into about money, right? So a lot of people do the get rich quick schemes and different things of that nature. A lot of people play the lotteries trying to get rich quick. Right? That's really a facade. I'm not saying it doesn't happen sometimes. Right? A lot of times it's a facade. All these classes you hear on the radio, you know what I'm saying? You want to learn how to make money with no money at all? Right? These are schemes, man. Let me show you about the lottery though. You can actually Google this. It says life after winning the lottery may not stay glamorous forever. Whether they win 500 million or 1 million, about 70% of lotto winners lose or spend all the the money that they have in 5 years or less, right? Because remember we read earlier, 78% of people live a paycheck, and it's not a math problem. Everybody know how to do math. It's a behavior problem, right? Because we don't examine ourselves. They examine us more than we examine ourselves.
That's true.
Right? They know how much you spend. They know the things that you like. They know how to promote it to you to get you to buy it. Hey, right? They know how to keep you down on the bottom. Hey, they know how to do these things, man.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But like you was just bringing out, they know what to say. They know what you like. If you think about it, we started putting the rims on that car, right? You know, the car had factory rims on. We'll take the factory rims off and put with the rim with the chrome rims on them. And then lately, you know, they just started putting it like these trucks. You know, they started making commercials. You know, yeah, come complete with 20s. You know, we call them 20s. We don't get 20 in. We said 20, 22, 24, 26. The commercials that start saying, yeah, come complete with 20s, 22. They don't even put the inches on them. They know how we talk and they know what we like. And that's how they gonna exercise, right? Until when coming with them big old rims like that, until they notice that the Negro like them big old rims.
Hey, yeah, man, for real. Hey, and they know how to advertise it to you because, like, look, they know what TV shows you watch. They know we watching Love and Hip Hop. Not me personally, but I'm just saying, black people. They know we watching Love and Hip Hop. They know we like watching all these damn black shows that's toxic. You know what I'm saying? They know that.
And when
they know what commercials.
And then what they gonna do? When they try to go ahead.
Oh no, you got it. Go ahead.
No, I get what I'm saying. They know when they try to advertise to you, they gonna speak your language. They gonna stop speaking their language. They not gonna talk to you the way they talk to each other. They gonna speak to you the way they see you speaking to your people. They gonna sound like you to make it seem more enticing to you to pursue whatever they trying to say. They can't come to you talking about, yeah, this truck come complete with 20-inch rim. And you know, they gonna go, yeah, it got them 20s on it. It got 20s on it. You gonna be winning.
But like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, start noticing the commercials that come on the TV channels that you watch. Right? Think about the Super Bowl now. On the Super Bowl commercial, they know a lot of men watching the Super Bowl. All you see is beer commercials, truck commercials, right? You see all these type of commercials because they know who they're trying to promote to, right? That's just to give an example. But they just like the little ads that be popping up in that music or something. Not to cut you off. Just like you on YouTube, the certain ads that pop up, knowing you just searched 2 minutes ago. You know, y'all ever had that? That's right. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You Google something and then next thing you know you see it on Facebook. Next thing you know it's in top. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's like they know right. You. Well, they'll know your person. They'll find what your personality is without ever meeting you or talking to you. They just monitor you on this phone. And like right now, they probably know all of us. They probably know all of us ain't eat something. They know that. If they monitor their phone, if they monitor my phone, they know I ain't eat. No.
Yeah, but let's get give me Sirach chapter 14 and verse 3. And I want to talk about we all just watch this. The what now? I'm on iPhone. I said we all gonna watch this. Hey man, we here to serve the Lord. Hey, matter of fact, give me Isaiah chapter 45 and 17 then, right? Give me Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17. And then hold that Sirach chapter 14 and verse 3.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Hey, and we not ashamed to come over here and say we the sons of God, right? And we the greatest man who ever walked the face of this earth, right? We're not ashamed to say that, and we're not ashamed to say the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? We're not. So, hey, they can watch all they want to, but we the sons of God, man. So, hey, get that rock, man, because we're not ashamed of this, man.
What you wanted? 14 and what?
14 and 3.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 3. Riches are not comely for a nigger. And what should an envious man do with money?
Right? So it says riches are not comely for a nigger. Right? I'm gonna Google nigger and give you the correct definition of nigger. Right? Because you got now, like, the reason I brought up like the lotteries and stuff like that, you know, we got the checks coming in from what you call it? I was about to say the check that we get, but what you call it? Stimulus. Like the brother Ananias always says, man. The stimulus check is to stimulate the economy. They already understand that once they put this money in your hand, it's not going to be an investment. It's going to be consumed. This money going right back into the economy, the community. It's going back into their businesses, right? It's going to stimulate the economy, like my brother always said. Right? A nigger is a meanly and stingy person, right? And it's basically going into read that again.
Riches are not comely for a nigger. And what should an envious man do with money?
Right? What a madman gonna do with money? Somebody who blow money and they give it to him. You can give a man $50. You can blow through $1 million in a day. Right? It's easy to spend money. Right? It's a little bit harder to come by, but it's easy to spend money. We can go spend $1 million. Give me $1 million. I can show you how to spend $1 million. I know exactly how to show you get $1 million. Give me 22 and 27. Proverbs. But my whole goal is to show people how important being out of debt is. I want you to picture something first, right? Picture having no debt, right? All you have is a power bill, a water bill. You don't have a house note, right? You don't have a car loan. I want you to answer me, well, not necessarily answer me, but picture yourself not having those debts, right? How much money do you have? You got a lot of money, right? Now, these things can be done. Now it has to be done strategically. And I'm not going to say it's easy, an easy thing to do, but it involves discipline, right? And I'm talking to people in the truth. I'm talking to people who are disciplined, who do examine themselves, right? So read that part.
Proverbs 22 and 7 said,
I'm 27.
22 and 27.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is Proverbs chapter 22 and 27.
Uh-huh.
If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed?
Now, this is some wisdom in the scriptures. Read that again.
If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee?
If you don't have a furniture bill, how can they take your furniture from you? If you don't have a car note, how can they come take your car from you? Right there is telling you to pay it in cash. That's how you keep your bed, somebody from taking your bed up on you. Right?
Pay it in cash, or if you pay it off, don't be so quick to trade it in and get another cover. You know what I mean?
Well, see, all right. That's going to go into something else. Like, this is what I would teach somebody, right? Like, not to actually go and get loans for anything, right? Now, it does take discipline, right? And you have the money. A lot of our people have the money. but we don't spend it on the right things. We don't have our plans lined up. Give me Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. I'm going to give an example.
It's the Habakkuk 2 and 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. That though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Okay. And that's Habakkuk 2 and verse. Right? Let's see. But basically what I'm getting at right here, all throughout the scripture, you see the prophets, they say, write it down, write it in the book, right? The only reason we know about the scripture is because they wrote it down. Give me Revelation chapter 1 and verse 11. And then give me that verse 19 right after that. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 11. So you have to write these things down. And ultimately what I'm getting into is writing out a budget. Right? You have to have a budget plan. You can't just say, hey, Michael. You can't just money careless, just swiping your card everywhere and not knowing what you spend. You need to be, if you're careless with money, you need to be writing every single thing down. Right? Go ahead.
It's in Revelation chapter 1 and verse 11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest, write in a book.
That's all I want on that. It said, what thou seest, write in a book. Right? You know what? You can read the rest. Go ahead.
Okay. And what thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesians, and unto Smyrna. How you pronounce that?
Smyrna.
Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto thy Atara, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. I wish you would told me. Should have told me don't read that, better.
Skip down to verse 19. Right, skip down to verse 19.
All right, verse 19. Write the thing which thou hast seen, and the thing which are, and the thing which shall be hereafter.
Give me Sirach chapter 42 and verse 7. So the important things I'm pointing out right now, our forefathers wrote things down. They wrote things down. Read that part.
This is Sirach 42 and 7. Deliver all things in number and weight, and put all in writing, that thou givest out or receivest in.
Read.
But be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish, and the extreme age that contendeth with those that are young. Thus shall thou be truly learned and approved of all men living.
Right. So it keeps saying, write it down. It says, deliver all things in number and in weight, and put all things in writing, that thou givest out or receivest in. Right? And that goes into money. Right? Write down what you're giving out and write down what you're receiving in. So that way, when it comes time to pay rent or pay your mortgage, right now you understand how much money you have. You don't have to keep checking your account. But now when you write it down, you actually see the money you're spending. And then when you write it on paper, it's going to hurt worse too. Right? It's not just going to feel like this little magic wand that you're waving in the air. Right? You're going to actually see this money written down. You're like, oh, I spent this much at the gas station. Oh, I spend $10 every day at the gas station, which equals up to $50 per week, which equals up to $200 per month. And that's $2,400 in the gas station per year. now you're gonna think about it, right? Now because now you're writing it down.
And it kind of like your friend just look down on a friend as a reminder. It kind of reminds me of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Luke chapter 14 and verse 28. And I really, like, it's kind of hard for me to just talk. Y'all know that. I do better when people ask me questions about certain things, and then I can rebuttal back, you know. But I'm trying my best to get through this and try to explain something, if you will.
Luke chapter 14 verse 28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down and counted the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Verse 29. Okay, verse 29. Lest happily after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him. Verse 30, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
That's 31.
Oh, you said 31. Verse 31. Or what king going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first and consulting whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him and coming against him with 20,000.
Right. So basically it says count the cost. Right. Count the cost. And it's talking about building right here. Let's see. Go back and read Luke 14 and 28. It says, for which of you to build a tower is not down first and count the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it. Right, and right there, that's talking about, it's really going in the spirit, right? Talking about building up your spirit and counting the cost, like knowing the things you don't have to go through as Israelites. You got to count the cost. But it can also mean is a scripture has double meaning, right? What man tries to build a building and he don't sit down and count the cost out first, right? What man builds a kingdom, right? The kingdom being in your house, don't sit down and count down the cost first, right? You have to sit down and count the cost. You got to know how much the pipes are. You got to know how much the wood is going to be worth, right? You got to know how much the roof is. Otherwise, you're going to have a few materials. You might not count the cost all the way out and have the correct amount of money. And then guess what? They're going to say that man began to build, but he couldn't finish because you didn't have a plan, right? In order to have a plan, a solid plan, you need to have a goal. In order to see that goal, you have to write it down, right? And that's the point I want to make. So the heavy point I want to make is to write you a budget out. Know how much money you received in. Know how much money is going out. You know, and let's see what time is it?
9:15.
9:14. See, I'm gonna have to do a part 2 to this too. But as far as so I do a quick point. So here's what I teach, right? Get out of debt, right, and stay out of debt. You do what's called the debt snowball effect, right? You pay off your debt smallest to the largest, right? And you get out of debt. You put your credit cards up because one thing, I'm gonna tell you something about credit. Somebody answered me, what do you do with a credit card?
So you go in debt with one.
Go what?
You go in debt with a credit card.
Correct.
Do the same thing you do with paper money. Spend.
Spend. Okay. What about credit score?
Well, you build the credit.
That ain't nothing but how you manage debt.
So what?
Hey, just a score to show you how you manage debt.
How you manage debt, right? Right. It's a debt score. Right. When somebody says $820 score, all you saying is I can can go into more debt than you can. I can go borrow more money than you can. I can go get into more debt and pay more interest than you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Ultimately, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's basically paying back. It's like a dog chasing his tail, right? So in order to build credit, you have to start credit. So you have to start borrowing money, right? And it's an everlasting cycle. You borrow money, you pay hundreds of dollars on interest, thousands of dollars on interest in order just to build his credit up, right? When everything that people do with credit cards, you can do without. Yep. Whether it's buying a house, right? Whether it's getting phones, right? Whether it's anything, you can do all that stuff, right? If you learn the right way how to handle your money. Now, it will take discipline, right? And you'll have to examine yourself and learn where your error is and your spending habits are, right? But what was I going to say? Somebody asked me a question.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to read this verse one time because I think it was cold. It says, verse this Luke 14:31, and it says, or when king going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first and consulted whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that coming against him with 20,000. You got to, you know, you don't want to make that mistake.
Right. Because that's a risk. That's a gamble, man. You gotta count the cost first.
And that's one of the things that the other nations are pretty damn good at. You know, especially Esau. They sit down and have meeting on top of meeting. They constantly thinking how to count the cost. You know what I'm saying? They come up with all type of different strategies or crafty counsel to be able to meet their goals. To be able to,
And it's, you know, the scriptures say they you think tanks. They think deep. They think deep.
Yeah, but for the most part, they doing what the scriptures say. And, you know, they counting the cost. They saying, can they go to war? Can they get it done with less amount of people? You know what I'm saying? They might say, just say, like at our job, they have a certain amount of people to be around the line to be able to produce these parts that they want done. They try to come up with ways to say, can I get it done with half the people and still make the same product? You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing as counting the cost or saying, can I go against these 20,000 with this 10,000? That's what I'm saying. That's how they count the cost, and that's same thing with the crafty counsel.
Right. Hey, and another thing about these credit cards, right? You hear a lot of people say about like airplane miles and I get this much percentage back when I spend money. Just do the math, right? It's simple math, right? Say they get 1% cash back, right? Get 1% cash back. I was trying to think of a commercial, but I couldn't think of one. 1% cash back. Say you spend $100,000. That means you get $1,000 for a reward. Where in the history does that make sense? When you go spend $100,000, you trying your best to spend this $100,000 so you can get some free $1,000 mileage, right? Or whether it be a credit card or whatever, that does not make financial sense, right? Airline miles, you can Google this and look it up. Half the people who earn rewards for airline miles, they don't even use them, right? They don't even use them. But all these credit cards, they basically put people behind, and it's like a secret plot, you know, like I said, it's like a magic wand. You wave the credit card around, like they done studies where you walk in the grocery store, you're gonna spend more money with your credit card than you will with your own cash, because you feel like it's your money. You feel like you're just going in there with a magic wand and waving it around, and now you got a whole bunch of groceries. But you got to pay that money back, you know. Or you can, before you go in there, you can go in with a plan and say, hey, I'm gonna spend this amount of money right? I'm not going to spend extra. I'm not going to use my credit card. I'm going to go in there and spend this much money. And when you spend money with cash, you feel that for it hurts when you hand that cash over to that person, right? It don't hurt when you wave that credit card around. You just wave it around, throw it in the air, and it kind of come back down and swipe by itself. You know what I'm saying? and you know what I'm saying? You just basically thinking that it's your own money. But yeah, basically, so the key to it is to make a budget, right? You write your rent down, how much gas you spend for a car, your car gas, your gas bill, your power bill, your insurance, your child care. You have to take care of the house first, right? When the next J's come out, that shouldn't be on your budget, you know. I mean, if you got money to spend, that's on you. Hold on. But now, if you got money to spend, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got thrown off for a minute. But so basically, you want to protect the four walls of your house. And I'm gonna have to do another video on this. And it's hard for me to talk the video for real. If we was in person, y'all be telling me to shut up. But so you do your rent, your gas. You write down all these things. You write down the necessities, right? Going to the movies is not a necessity, right? Going bowling is not a necessity. You write down all your necessities, right? Depending on how much you get paid, you write that down too as well. You write down all your necessities, divide it by 4, and then you end up with how much money you need per week just to survive, right? Once you have that money to survive, right, now you know exactly every time I get my paycheck, this is how much I need to take out and put to the side, right? Just for me to survive. Now I'm good. I got a roof over my head, right? I got car gas already handled. I got my power bill already handled. All this is set aside, and I already know what it is. So the extra money that comes out, now this is when you go into paying off debt. So the first step is to save $1,000, right? So the $1,000 is an emergency fund, right? But it's only temporary. It's until you get out of debt. The reason you save only $1,000 is so it can put fire behind you. If you have $5,000 in the bank saved, you're gonna feel more comfortable. But if you only have 1,000, you're gonna understand, hey, I gotta hurry up and get this debt paid off so I can build up my emergency fund. So after that, once you do that, then you pay off all your debts from smallest to largest, right? You go head in all on one. Boom, pay the small one off. Boom, that one paid off. Boom, pay the next one off. Boom, pay the next one off. Just like that, and then all the way until you get it paid off. After that, you save 3 to 6 months of emergency, right? Which could be anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. You know, depending on your spending habits and your lifestyle. I'll say that much. It could be 5,000, 10,000. It depends on your lifestyle. Right. After that, then this is when you start building wealth. This is how they build wealth, right? By not being in debt, not being borrowed, right? And like we still understand we're gonna have water bill, power bill, and all that stuff, right? But once you have your necessities, like I said, now you see all your extra money that you have, right? You see all the extra money that you have. You got to figure out where is this money going, right? You look at your card and your card history. You see that you're spending $10 at the gas station, $10, $6 for breakfast, $10 for lunch, $15 for dinner, right? All this stuff add up, you know, and you have to learn how to start cooking at home, depending on what your situation is and your problem is. And basically, you all the money that you have is going to be going to paying off debt. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody have any questions? That'll be better. like come at me sideways, like help me out, you know. Come at me with like some disagreements or something, so I can, you know.
No, we just was listening to you, man. You giving us some good information.
Yeah.
You talking, we soaking it up.
Okay.
So after you pay off your credit card, what do you do at that point? Do you close the credit card account? Do you cut up the cards? I mean, where do you go from there?
All right. Here's what I teach. I don't teach borrowing money. So what you would do, cut those credit cards up, right? You're not going to use them no more because the credit card, right? And I'm just giving out my information, and people can do what they want to do. I honestly only expect, I'm going to give a percentage. I only expect, out of all the people I talk to, I only expect about 10% to listen, if that. I understand what I'm trying to say. And I'm praying that y'all as Israelites, because y'all know how to examine yourself and know how to correct your error. That's why I'm coming at my brothers and sisters with it. But it has truly helped me out. You got something?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Okay, what do you say about a person like me? I once had a bunch of credit cards.
Correct.
I had got my credit cards had got out of control. I ended up got with a little bill consolidation company and consolidated my credit card bill, paid it off, wiped my slate clean with that. And then I have credit cards.
Right.
I got about 5, 6 credit cards.
Okay.
But, I'm kind of like, I have them, but I learned my lesson for the first time I had a bunch of credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not maxing my credit cards out. Most of them not even halfway. The limit ain't even over halfway.
All right.
Go ahead.
Here's what I say. Just like I told the sister, I would cut them up because those credit cards are set up for us to spend money. When you go to Belk, when you go to Macy's, when you go to all these different various places, the first thing they ask you is, do you want to open up a credit card? Because they understand that 60% of people do not pay their credit cards every month on time, right? So they understand that they're going to be making interest off of these credit cards, right? So they make more interest and more money selling these credit cards than they do their own merchandise, right? Because of the lack of people's ability to, well, not necessarily ability, but their awareness of paying their bills off on time, And the reason I would say get rid of them is because I look at it as like basically playing with snakes, right? Because if you play with a snake, you're gonna get bit. And who will fit in the snake charmer? So like if you swipe those cards, like it's basically like I said, when you walk into the grocery store, you might have a credit card. You're gonna spend more money with that card versus your own cash. Even though you still have to pay the money back, it don't feel like it's your money.
It feels better to use that credit card than to come about your money what you to work for. Correct. I know. Saying exactly what you're saying.
Okay, so you saying get rid of the credit card. So let's say you know how the world is like it is, to where they don't take cash or anything like that. So let's say in a time of emergency, they didn't shut the banks down where your money is and stuff like that. You're not getting paid. So what do you do at that point? And your money is in the bank account, but you say that the emergency fund is there. So would it be easy for you to have an emergency credit card as well to swipe?
Now with the emergency,
you can't get to your money because the banks are closed.
With the banks being closed?
Yes, with your bank closed with your money in there, and ATM's not working or anything like that. What do you advise at that point? Isn't it? You don't feel like it's best to have an emergency credit card, like to get plane tickets and stuff like that to hurry up and let's say evacuate or something. You can't take cash over the internet, so it's good to kind of swipe the card. real quick so you can get up out of here wherever you got to evacuate to.
Like you're saying, as far as the bank shutting down?